Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Higgs, and it's a Tuesday here, December the 3rd. Matt Fargo, Chirimbes, joining me as always. Today, though, some college basketball we'll be talking about. Some college basketball, we got to work it back into the system here. Last week, though, me and Matt, not a good day. We'll move on from that. Chip was not with us last week, but not a good 0-2 day. Free picks here. Free picks. We'll talk about them in a second here. But before we get to that and our three college hoop winners today, hit the like button. Takes a second. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell on, share, whatever you got to do. Be part of the Winner Circle family here. Get on board so you know when we do the free pick videos. 6 days a week. We load them up here Monday through Saturday. Actually, Sunday, too. Who am I kidding? I mean, we tape them in and they're out on the weekend. So that's 7 days a week. Live show last night. If you missed the Monday Night Live, well, you missed a 9-7 prop day to the tune of plus $1,100. We had a nice little Judy run. I was high on Judy against his old bunch. So you missed that. Friday Live, don't miss that. Matt, Mark Lawrence, Victor King, and myself talking NFL football on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. And again, free picks here. Premium over at our sponsor, gamblersworld.net, where you get Matt and myself, all of our top plays. Whether it's college football that's winding down, championship weekend here and in bowl games, NFL, we still got plenty of time left in NFL with the playoffs on the horizon, NBA, college hoops in full swing, cold cash on the ice. That's Doug Upstone's been crushing the ice there. But listen, head to gamblersworld.net. 3/7/38 packages guaranteed. Daily pass for $69.99. What else you got to do? There it is. Daily pass right up top. You can't beat that, especially on like a weekend when you have football and basketball and everything else. You're going to get a lot of value for one low price. Speaking of low prices, our favorite what'd you call him? A curmudgeon? You called yourself a curmudgeon?
Well, let's.
How about see if somebody can spell curmudgeon in the chat when we get to
I'm a numbers guy. Letters don't work well with me.
What's going on, Chip? How'd you do yesterday?
The beat goes on. Another big winner in NBA action. We talked about that Minnesota game yesterday. And, of course, boy, I'll tell you, right now, this football for me, I struggled the entire weekend, and it carried over onto Monday as well. I thought the Browns were going to be a live dog, but I should have known better because Denver never should have been laying that kind of number in the first place. So the football went down, but we got 3 NBA games out there already in a package, as well as 3 college basketball plays, of which I really like today.
Yeah, no, you're number one at Gamblers Road. Your NBA here, 42-26, 62%, not too shabby. That's pretty good. I don't know. I'm no genius, but 62% in sports betting is excellent. Now, Matt, he said that it was a bad play. Cleveland, hi, you're in that game. You throw another pick six on your 2-yard line. My problem with that is that I had a Judy 2 touchdowns, 12-1. And you're going to Njoku again at the goal line. I think Chip had a winner there. He had the right side. I kind of like Cleveland in the over. I didn't end up playing yesterday's game. I went 3-3 on Sunday. Wasn't, I didn't love it enough to put a couple bucks on. We did the little props. But I don't think Cleveland was you were right on with Cleveland yesterday. That should have been a win. That was a win.
It's, we've seen so many different things happen, win and lose games, and it's sometimes you need a final result, no matter how many stats or yards you have. I'd rather just have the right score, and we certainly didn't. And I always look at the box scores after the game and see where did they lose it, where did they blow it, and the INT was the whole game. So
yeah, times 2, 14 points on those 2 INTs.
Yeah,
rough one. Matt, what do you say, fella? How was your weekend of action? What do you got going on coming up here?
Yeah, it was a decent weekend overall. I was on Cleveland last night as well. It sucked. Winston put up what, 470 yards or something silly, and they outgained Denver by 150, something like that. And 2 pick sixes. I mean, what are you going to do? That's the way he's been his whole career. He's going to throw a ton of yards, get you the touchdowns, but he's going to throw those pick sixes, and that's something that's hard to handicap because you don't know when it's coming. And it came last night, unfortunately, twice. Yeah. And the second one, which was the clincher, it was one of those things where it was right before the 2-minute warning where I forget who it was. I think it was Moore had that tiptoe catch on the sideline, and they called it a catch. And if they had reversed it, it would have been a whole different situation. They would have gone for it, maybe missed it, and Denver would, just run the clock out, and we would have won. So they got the first down on a 50-50 call, which I was happy at the time. I'm like, yeah, give it to them, great. And the next pass, boom, there it goes. So anyway, 5-4 NFL weekend. Could have been 6-3, but we can't cry about that. It happens. Goes both ways. So 48-38 overall in the NFL. Have a great year. College hoops is now ramping up. 6 games tonight. This is when I believe college basketball really starts. The holiday tournaments, I like to watch them. They're great. Some great games, great matchups. Really hard to handicap these neutral site games. Like back-to-back games. It's really tough. Now we're back to true home road situations. Conference play starting up tonight for some teams. So this is when the true I think basketball season starts in the college ranks, and this is the time I love. This is when my games start ramping up, where I'm going to have more volume, as I didn't have before, where I was going 1, 2, 3 games. Now, like I said, I have 6 for tonight. It's going to be a big week coming up with a lot of big cards coming up. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to conference championship weekend. I'm going to have my college game of the year posted later today, and as well as 3-packer NBA coming up right after the show is done. I'll be posting that.
3-pack NBA. I think, is it still the in-season?
Tonight is NBA Cup games. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The in-season champions is what I call it. Like we have to gear up these guys to play.
Right.
You mentioned your college, your NFL. You're number 2 on GamblersWorld.net for NFL. Not bad. 1, 2, 3. You're in the top 3, as I say. Nice season. 48-38, 58%.
Take it.
Complaints. Yeah. I'm 16-64 in NFL. So we talk about having good runs, bad runs. Sometimes you're seeing the board better. College football, I'm doing a lot better in college football than I am in NFL. Winning in college, losing in NFL a little bit.
Saturday basically was the epitome of my season when I had Wake Forest, who was covering the entire game +4, never trailed, covered for 59 minutes and 59 seconds, and then lost on a Hail Mary. Just like when I saw that, I'm like, yep, that's about right.
Right.
That's about right.
Yep.
For newer people out there, this is what you do, right? If you're going to be a pro, be just an average bettor, have fun on the weekends, you're going to have up and down kind of times. Some days the sports are going to be treating you well. You're 5-0. Next day you're 1-6. Like, oh my goodness, the sky's falling. You're doing good in one sport, not good in the other. It is it's a grind, as we like to say. It is definitely a grind. Matt, before we roll on to college hoops, Doug and Jim, myself, yesterday, we're talking about the playoff, whatever college got going on tonight. They're going to have their little ratings. Alabama's now moved to a favorite to get in from a pick'em. 3. This is, I'm old enough to remember you lose once. You were out of any talk of winning any kind of thing. Forget getting into a playoff or a national championship. You wouldn't even win your own conference. You think Alabama should get in?
You're allowing 12 teams in there. I mean, I had said at the beginning of the year, we're going to be surprised. We're going to have a lot of teams with 2 losses. I mean, they may be having 4 losses before it's over. I mean, that's what I mean. 3 losses is going to be common in this tournament. There is no really outstanding team like Georgia a couple of years ago and Michigan last year where you definitively felt they were the best team in the country. At least that's the way I feel about Oregon. I don't know. I don't have the same feeling about them that I had against Georgia 2 years ago or even Michigan last year.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good that we have the expanded playoffs here because there is such, not mediocrity, but just say parallelism. There seems to be more equality.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, we talked about this last week with the whole Alabama situation. The fact that they were 13 last week, I believe, right on the cusp of the top 12, and now that they're favored to get in, and I think a lot of that has to do with SMU. If SMU loses to Clemson, unfortunately, they're probably out. A 2-loss team is out. Granted, it's a weird conference, I get it, but it's just watching the Georgia Tech game on Saturday, the announcers like, "Oh, Georgia locked it up with the win." Like, did they? Apparently, I guess because from the SEC, they're automatically in. even if they lose to Texas this weekend. I guess it doesn't matter anymore. I mean, I'm glad that Indiana rolled Purdue, so they're definitely going to be in.
Yeah.
They were borderline, if they didn't win big, so and so. So the whole, I guarantee Alabama's going to find a way to get in. I don't know how it's going to work out. It all depends on how these games go this coming weekend, but I have a feeling they're going to be in, just because. And
I'll tell you what, when it expands to two more teams in 2 years, you think it's going to be SMU, Miami, Florida get in? No. It's going to be four loss Ole Miss because they lost to Georgia and Texas, and they lost to the 4 teams that are all ranked ahead of them. So you got to put them in there.
Hey, UNLV hasn't lost to any of those teams yet.
And you know what the funny thing is, Doug. I don't know if you watched yesterday's show, Matt. Doug says the best. He's like, the funny thing about the bad Pac-12 that folds up. Pac-12 champion is the Big Ten champion. Pac-12 champion in the Big Ten, right? You got Oregon, Arizona State. You got SMU's coming out of the AAC to win the ACC. Texas out of the joke SEC. They're terrible. They got to play no defense out of the Big 12. They come in and win the SEC now. All the conferences are in charge of every other conference.
Yeah, the Texas Tech head coach in his presser, he said that exact same thing. He made that argument.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
100% right. 100% right.
Yeah.
And the other team, they're talking about is South Carolina, who obviously is playing their best football of the year, which does count for something. I get it. Who's their best win? Obviously, they beat Clemson this past weekend. They easily could have lost that game. They got a fluke interception at the end of the game. They beat Texas A&M. That's a good win, no doubt about that. But other than that, Oklahoma stinks.
I mean, they beat them at home.
They beat Alabama, who's going to the Final 12.
South Carolina, nice season. Are they a playoff team?
Like this year? No. Three losses. No.
Next year they will be. Alabama's going to be. I mean, Ole Miss would be there. This is oh my God! And then for the final, really get me riled up before we do a couple minutes of college basketball. Rob Manfred and his golden bat. Hey, you can put anybody you want up in the as a pinch hitter in the lineup. Why have lineups? What are we in 3rd grade? Let's play kickball too while we're at it. Is this?
I have not heard anything about this. I have not heard about this.
You didn't see this?
No, I did not.
Oh yeah. One time during the game, you could bring anybody up to hit in a game. You can bring anybody up. Bases loaded, but it's Ben Rice is up. No. Here comes Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Bryce. You just replace anybody with anybody in your lineup.
You could bat out of turn in your lineup from any.
Yes, anytime you can just bring whoever you want up to bat in a situation.
Oh God. Okay.
It's called the golden bat.
It's going a little too far now. This is getting a little tricky. A little tricked up.
That's not going to work.
Every baseball I'll say my Mattingly rookie. I'll say my Ricky Henderson. My Canseco Raider rookie with a little mustache, so he looks like a teenager. And I'll probably save the Bo Jackson where he's got the bat, holding with the bat. Yep. Other than that, I said I'm starting a bonfire. Anything baseball related. I won't buy a baseball game. I will smash all of my old PS games. Never again if they do. What the hell is going on? Are you kidding me? A golden bat. It's bad enough, but a phantom freaking runner on base.
You are so
I am angry. Holy cow. What are they doing to the world? Are you kidding me?
Hey.
Oh my God.
Like what's the argument?
Get cranked up like this is ridiculous. This is full-blown ridiculousness.
So I have a really what is the argument for implementing this? Like what is the reasoning to put this in action?
It's exciting, I guess. I don't know, get more people to watch.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
No.
People who don't watch baseball, the baseball's a little shorter. I'm gonna watch the game. No, they're not gonna watch the game. They're not gonna watch the game. No, they're not. Whatever. All right. No, take a breath. Just time market 14:30 to get to the pick so you don't see me go insane. I don't go insane when I lose money betting game because that's life. I can, you bet, you win, you lose, you move on. You're changing just the total landscape of baseball now. I dealt with your nonsensical 7-inning no-hitters. Remember that one, 7-inning no-hitters? We're saying 7-inning double-hitters.
Falling.
Matt. Listen, all sports are doing this. Like, it happened years ago with college football with the overtime rule. Like, that Georgia Tech game was amazing. Even with the 2-point conversion back and forth. It was awesome to watch. But it's like, that's not real football. Like,
No.
they could start at the 25-yard line every freaking overtime.
Right.
And go from there. That's even bad enough, but whatever. It's better than 2-point conversions each way.
Make sure you tell the team when you're doing the onside kick, we want them ready for it. Okay. Was that in Sun Tzu's art horrible?
That's another one.
What you're going to do?
Like, I understand that the kickoff rule for safety, I get that. But this onside kick where you have to tell the other team is coming, what's the point of that? Like,
all right, let's get to a game they haven't totally destroyed yet in college basketball. They're well on their way. They're well on their way with transfer portal stuff into rooting college sports. Michigan and Wisconsin. You mentioned, here we go. We got conference play the first week of December, which I'm not really a fan of conference play in December. I like the intercontinental games here. You're all over the place. You're traveling. You're playing the pay me schools. It's kind of fun kind of stuff. But here, Michigan, Wisconsin, I don't know. You got a couple big boys going. 6-1. Michigan looks pretty good since the coaching changed. 8-0 Whiskey. I look at this line here, right? I mean, it's up to 4. Whiskey's up to a 4. This was a 2.5 last night. It's 4 and a 150. I look at Matt. Who has Michigan played? They beat Xavier, who's a KenPom like top 70 team. Whiskey took care of Pitt, took care of Arizona pretty handily as well. I'm seeing the move here from up to 2. It's up to, well, we got 3 here on the board here. It's on the way up. I think it makes sense based on scheduling, but this is your guy today. What's your take on Michigan and the Michigan and the Wolverines, Michigan and Wisconsin?
Yeah, I thought the 2.5 line that was around pretty much all day yesterday was definitely short. It's a smart move, I think. I think Wisconsin will be the popular play based on that. Now, it might be equal action at 4. I agree with that. Like you said, Michigan's 6-1. Dusty May has done a good job. 6 wins. They had 8 wins all last year. So obviously he's turning this team around from what Juwan Howard ran into the ground. This is their first true road game of the season. With Dusty May, obviously he's been in some big games with Florida Atlantic away from home. Going to the NCAA tournament a few times and all that. But his first Big Ten road game is a different animal. And Kohl Center is a tough place to play. Wisconsin 6-0 there. Like I said, they beat Arizona pretty handily there. They have a couple other good wins over UCF and Pitt in a neutral site game in Greensboro. So this team is pretty. This team is good. I think they're the right spot here. They're scoring a ton of points, 85.3, which is number 30 in the country. And the big thing with a short price like this, which if you're going to have a close game, the free throw line. They are hitting 85.3%, and that's best in the country. And look at the other side. Michigan is 20% less at 66.7%, which is number 292 in the country. So if it comes down to crunch time, Wisconsin has the huge edge there. And I think the home environment, and I agree, I don't like these conference games in December either. They should start after the first year like they used to. But with the expansion, and I think maybe they added a couple more games a couple years ago, so that's why they're starting early. But whatever. I think it's a big environment for Wisconsin, a big game. I think they want to show this new coach, this is our territory right now, and I think they win this one, between 8 and 10, and it might come down to clutch free throws at the end. So I like the Badgers here.
Matt Fargo, official pick, Wisconsin Badgers. I'm showing 3.5, pretty much universal right now. So Whiskey 3.5 for the show. I agree. I agree on Whiskey there. Chip, your thoughts?
Signature win for Wisconsin over Arizona. That was a big play for us. And they won handily. 8-0 coming in here. These Wisconsin and Michigan have sort of like transitioned into or morphed into different teams. Wisconsin used to be one of the toughest defensive teams in the country year in and year out. And right now, they're an offensive juggernaut. They're averaging 85 points a game. Their defense is way up to like 69 points a game. And it's Michigan that's playing the defense. Michigan's defense only allowing 60 points a game, number 16 in the country. I can see this being a tight game. I really can. Michigan's got a little bit more giddy up in their step this year after what the kind of season they had last year. But 8 of the 10 games that Wisconsin has played have their last 10 have gone over the total. I think most likely it's going to go over. Michigan's not a bad shooting team as well. So this new Badger offense, the way they're approaching the game is just so totally foreign to me. We're so used to that team just slugging it out with you every time down the floor, and now they're looking to run and gun. So it's the new age of college basketball. I play it over.
Chip likes the over. I lean whiskey with Matt. And again, official play for the video, Wisconsin minus the 3.5 for Matt Fargo. Get all Matt's premiums at gamblersworld.ed. He mentioned he's going to have some NBA up for today. And, of course, a big college football game of the year going this championship weekend. So get on with Matt. He's having a nice run. Number 2 NFL capper on the site. Next game up, a little ACC SEC challenge tonight here. Chip's going to be taking a look at Kentucky and Clemson. Nice little matchup here for ACC. You're going to get 2 good conferences, so you're going to get some good basketball out of these guys. This is another late game. This one's at 9:30. We just went over the 9 o'clock game. We got 9:30 action. Kentucky got the big win at Duke, which is why I think it opened up where it did with them as a 2-point fave. But I think Clemson is a better team here, and you're going to give me a point or two at home. Right now I'm showing this as a 1.5 and a 156 for the total. I'm going to lean with the home dog here just based on Kentucky's getting the benefit of the doubt because of a big win at Duke, which is, listen, you go win at Duke, I don't care who you are. You get a little bit of credit from me. You got a new coach. You got new players. You haven't skipped a beat with Mark Pope here, 7-0 out of the gate. So I think it's justified. They're number 4 in the country. But again, you look at the number, it's like 2 for the top team, and Clemson's not up in that area. What do you think about this line? What's it make you think we want to do here, Chip?
Well, first off, I don't think people realize or remember that Clemson was an Elite 8 team last year. And, they're shooting almost 40% from 3-point range this year. They really have no signature wins, maybe Penn State. This is the first true road game for the Wildcats for Kentucky, and that always bothers me. They're undefeated right now, 4-2-1 against the number. But listen to these numbers, guys. I talk about offense, and Kentucky's averaging 96.7 points a game, first in the country. They're getting 45 rebounds a game, 4th in the country. Number 2 in assists, which you always like to see, which means they're willing to share the ball, and shooting 38% from 3-point range and 24% for their opponents. And yet I would have to take Clemson here, I would imagine, because the line is so short. And like I said, the first road game, that I'm always looking to play against teams that have had great success and they go on the road for the first time and they're favored here. So Clemson's got pedigree. The Tigers can play football. Their football is in the championship game, of course, and I think they got a shot against Kentucky here.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like we were talking about Michigan going on the road first time. Now you got Pope coach somewhere else, but it's still a whole new team going on the road. I look at they are a top 5 team basically in a pick 'em. I'm always going to be on the dog in that spot. Yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you guys just brought up about first true road game of the year, like same with Michigan. I love going against teams like that, especially in a game where you have a solid team where the line, you're like, well, what's up with this line? Well, it makes sense. I mean, Kentucky did beat Duke on a neutral floor. I think it was in Atlanta. I believe it was in Atlanta. Definitely a big win, don't get me wrong. But you look at other games, like who else have they played? Basically nobody. They've been favored by 21, 28, 21, 35, 24, 31. They faced nobody else. So first true road game against a really good team. How good is Clemson? We're not really sure yet. They lost to Boise pretty bad, but that was on the road. That was their only true road game of the year. They played San Francisco, was a very good team out of the WCC, beat them by 15 on a neutral floor. Good win over Penn State, and they basically blown out pretty much everyone else. And obviously, this is their toughest game of the year as well. But yeah, their home floor, they're gonna be riled up for this one. I like the spot for it, and I was Tigers here for sure with the short price.
So we agree, Matt and myself, with Chip's official play here. Clemson. Well, you know what? It's 1.5. If you want to do money line, let's be honest. We think if
no, I do not. I'll take the 1.5.
You want the 1.5? All right. Wow.
I want to.
Okay.
I'm going to give myself every opportunity to win.
All right. You play it safe there.
I'll lay. If I was laying 1.5, I'd lay the money line. But I'm going to take the points.
I don't think it matters. If I'm taking a one dog, they're going to win by 6.
You only have to be wrong once.
No, so I've been wrong.
No,
I've been wrong.
No, but when you say you don't think it matters, I mean, I could. My goodness, we could retire on the number of 1-point games we've been involved in.
Listen, I keep track of those. I keep track of 0.5 point to 3-point losses because that's just a basket and a free throw. So I'm like, I get it. I know that's, but a lot of times, no matter what sport, if it's 1.5 either way, I'm just money lining because if my team can't will out a win at home as a 1-point, come on, I'm going to come in and badmouth you. But official show pick here.
I can't even tell you how many NBA games we've won this year by getting +1.
Listen, that's why you're number one in the NBA. I cannot get into the NBA. No, thank you. I mean, the fact that they got to run a joke tournament to get guys interested in playing, I'll see in May when the playoffs start.
But there's got to be a winner every day. There's a line posted every day on these games, and there's got to be a winner one way or another.
Hey, listen, you are 42 and 26, 62% of the NBA. You are the master. So you are. Yes, you are. No. There it is. Here's his numbers. He'll be humble. That's fine. He's having a great NBA season. Me, no betting allowed in December. 4-4. That's how many games I've bet in the NBA. 4-4. Now, college basketball, I'm 90 and 73. In a month. We're a month in. I bet 150 games. So that's where I am when it comes to NBA to compare to college basketball. My college hoop.
If I'm a $500 player, how am I going to play 19 games in one day?
You're going to play like 8 games today or 10.
Oh, well, that's today. Didn't you open the season on opening day, go 12-7, 19 games?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I did go 12-7 opening day.
So I'm a dime player. I got to put up 19 grand plus the bid to be in the action.
Yeah. Listen. But how about you scale it back to like $3 a game?
Well, this is what I'm just saying. That's a lot of volume. That's a lot of games.
I'm a big guy. I like to eat. I like to eat at the kitchen table and at the sports book.
I saw you at Circa. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm twice your size, Chip. You probably thought I was going to eat.
Most people tell you the truth.
If there was a hot dog cart, I would have scooped you up and put some mustard on you. Look at this. It's a nice
goodness me. Oh, what abuse I got to take.
All right. Speaking of college hoops and the ACC SEC Challenge, I have Syracuse and Tennessee, and this is a monster line. I was like, oh, man, Tennessee's a good team. I didn't realize Syracuse was as bad as they are because it's not a team I've bet on this year. 18.5-point dogs, Tennessee, favored here to crush the Orange. And, gentlemen, you both mentioned teams making like a road appearance. Well, these guys actually played at Texas Tech and versus Texas already on the road, and were pretty competitive, the Orange. They lost by 5-4. And those two Texas teams, they're in KenPom's top 25. And if you're new, you don't know who that is, folks. $25, get yourself a KenPom account.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, the work is he takes everything that we all kind of get into, the efficiency and pace and speed and all read whatever kind of thing, and it's already kind of parred out for you. It's a good jumping point. And Chip mentions, 19 games on opening day. What do I have, a 900-page book on teams? No, you have to have information that other people can help you out with. It comes in handy when you have to narrow things down here. But I'm not going to 18. I can't lay the 18.5, right? Part of me is like, hey, look at the way Tennessee has rolled, and they have rolled. Forget about 78-35. They beat UT Martin. They won the little Bar Mar Invitational, beat Virginia 64-42. They beat Baylor, who was a top 15 team, 77-62, and their other games, 35-point win over Austin Peay. Again, it's Austin Peay. Still 103-68, 35-point win. Montana 22 over Louisville, and that was a roadie. Weber in game 1, they only won by a lowly 17. First game out of the gate. I guess they were a little lackadaisical. You look at these huge numbers; they've covered them all. I'm not really going to look at that. Do I think they could cover this? Yes. But then I look at Syracuse being competitive versus the Texas schools. Maybe, ESPN. I'm one of those old school guys where I remember back in the day, it was just ESPN dogs all the time, and you'd go 2-1 for their triple header, and it was printing money back in the 90s. I'm going to look at the over in this game. Tennessee's averaging 81, nearly 82 points a game. They're giving up like 55, but you got a couple nobodies in there, right? You got your P, you got your Martins, you got your Montanas where they're going to drop 50s and knock it a lot. We're going to put up 80. Syracuse is going to want to get up and down the court. They got some young guys here scoring 20 a game. They've had a kid score a ton of points in another game. All you need is one of these freshmen on Syracuse say, you know what? I'm the man today. I'm going to score 35 points. They're getting to 70 plus here. So I'm gonna look at the over here. It's 143.5. It's actually come down a little tick from the opener. I don't see this game I don't see Tennessee not getting into the 80s the way they play. Can I get 60 out of Syracuse? I think I'm getting more than that. I think I'm gonna get close to 70. So give me the over 143.5 in tonight's night. What time's this game? I didn't even write it down. I think this might be the later game. So I apologize for not having a time. For 7:30, this is the early one. You guys wrap up tonight, putting a bow on it. But this is 7:30 early game. Give me the over Syracuse Vols 144, I believe it is. We'll get it up here in the chat in a second. There we go. 143.5. 143.5. So, Chip, what do you think? 143.5. You like the over under? Maybe you got a side, big dog?
Well, you know what? Both teams average 81 points. So if you put that together and it comes to 162, I think that number is very shy. And, it looks like it's very inviting to go over. But one of the reasons is that Syracuse defense is ranked 3-3-4, is one of the worst in the country. And Tennessee is number 2 in the country in defense, giving up only 54.7 points a game. I think the side here is Tennessee. I think they may give up an orange crush is what I'm looking for here. I'm going to take Tennessee.
And again, I thought of it because you look at the way they score and play defense, and this is a tough place to play, man. Tennessee is always a tough court.
They play
Chip
defense.
Says, lay it with Tennessee. I'm not going to agree with that, but I'm not going to disagree because I like it as well. I think it'd be a big blowout the way they played. Matt?
Yeah, this is a tough one either way. As far as the over, Tennessee's defense, they were awesome last year. One of the best in the country, and they're right there this year. Number 4 or 5, I think, in defensive shooting percentage. Or they might have moved up to number 1 now after they put up a 42 spot against somebody recently. Nonetheless,
38 versus UT Martin, 38 points.
Yeah. So they'll run out and laying that number with Tennessee. Like we've talked about this before about how I like going contrarian, and they've covered 7 in a row now. I think it adds value the other way with Syracuse. Can you take Syracuse though? They played well against Texas and Texas Tech on a neutral floor in New York. Stayed within the number of both those games. But this is their first true road game, and it's going to be a crazy environment. Man, this is a tough game to call either way. And the thing with Syracuse, like those 2 games they played well against everyone else, they barely skated by. They have played down to their competition most of the season, and they played up to the competition in the 2 games that they played against decent opponents. So can they step up here? Yeah. Can they score enough to keep up? That I don't know. I'm a little weary about Syracuse or Tennessee on the side. So I'll root for your over. How's that?
That's fine. I get it. Listen, that's why I'm like,
this is a tough game, man. With that defense, you don't know what's going to happen. They could completely shut the Syracuse team down.
That is I think this on basis that Syracuse score like a 60 spot, right? So then am I going to get the 80 plus
85 or so? Yeah. Right.
Which is that's a big number in college basketball. 80.
Yeah.
Fucking 80s. They play 20-minute halves, folks. Like it's a I'm still on it. I think this game's gonna be like an 85-65 kind of area. That's what I think it's gonna be at, which is a lot higher total than what they got going on. But for the show, I'm going over 143.5. We'll see how we do. Official show picks over 143.5. Syracuse for me. Matt Fargo, Wisconsin -3.5. Chip Chirimbes, Clemson plus that 1.5. You need it. You need that 1.5.
Yeah. You'll be smiling tomorrow.
These are our free pick for the show. head on over to gamblersworld.net for our premium plays. Again, we want these to win, right? It's not like we're coming here to say, take it and that's it. We want the games to win. We're telling you why we think they should win, or the other side wins for a total if we're on a side, whatever the case may be. Premium, go get it. Matt, number 2 NFL. Chip's number 1 NBA. I'm on the leaderboards there for college football, college basketball. But again, free picks, premium, there is a difference. We have a record. You see the record. I tell you how we do in the free picks. We have a leaderboard on gamblersworld.net. 3 738 packages guaranteed. There you go. As always, show you profit or we credit you back. Daily pass, $69.99. Good for days when gentlemen here like myself, they have NBA package up. Maybe they have a college basketball package. There could be a nice game. I don't know. There's more than one package. Make the smart money move. Save yourself some money. I don't know what else to tell you. Jim knows what to tell you here on December the 3rd. I'm sure something good happens.
There's some amazing things that have happened on this date, December 3rd, in sports history. And starting in 1933, which was also the first year of the first Major League Baseball All-Star game in Chicago, quarterback named Joe Lillard for the Chicago Cardinals played his last game, and he was the last black football player in the NFL for 13 years. Why that happened, I have no idea. But from 1933 to 1946, the NFL had no Negro players. Imagine that in that time. Now, you guys, do you ever remember? I mean, when I was growing up, I know it's different than for you. I used to hear the legendary stories about Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside, the Army running backs. The Army won the national championship 3 straight years. And in 1946, Glenn Davis, who was Mr. Outside, he won the Heisman Trophy, averaging 11.5 yards a carry, got drafted number 1 by the Rams. And for his career, he averaged 8.3 yards. But in 1945, the year before that, Mr. Inside was a guy named Doc Blanchard. And he was, by the way, these 3 years, Army went 27-0 with 1 push against Notre Dame. There's a very famous 0-0 tie. Doc Blanchard passed on the NFL because he wanted to pursue his career in the military, guys. He was through 118 missions 198 missions as a fighter pilot between Vietnam and everywhere else, and he gave up playing in the NFL to do that. He gained in 7 games when he played, because he was out the first 2 games, 1,908 yards. And that Army team was considered one of the most dominating ever, and they even made movies about him. All right, I'll skip the other stuff. By the way, the NCAA leader all time for yards per rushing attempt, you're going to love this, Jackie Robinson of UCLA, also of the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1949. In 1956, Wilt Chamberlain made his debut at Kansas, 52 points, 31 rebounds. How's that? And Terry Baker, I don't know if you remember him, he got a Heisman Trophy from Oregon State. And there was one unique thing about him. Matt, I'll throw it at you. Do you have any idea?
Nope.
He was ambidextrous. He played quarterback and threw the ball with both hands.
Oh, okay.
You know, he used to, if he rolled left, he'd throw it left-handed. If he rolled right, he'd throw it right-handed. Terry Baker. And finally, to cap it off, Latrine Sprewell. You remember him? This is the day he had Latrine Sprewell had his $32 million contract voided for beating up PJ Carlisi.
PJ choked him.
Yeah. Sorry, PJ. I mean, but a year later, he was on his yacht and he had to go claim bankruptcy. And they said to Littrell, what happened to all the money? And he says, well, we may make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money.
That's the way you do it. Can't take it with you.
And he didn't. Well, it's all gone for him anyway. I wonder what bridge he's under right now.
You mentioned Glenn Davis. I was thinking you're talking about the Astros first baseman from
and not only that, how about Glenn Baby Davis for LSU that played for the Boston
LSU,
Celtics?
Glenn Baby Davis, yes, went to the Celtics. Didn't Shaq make him cry or something?
I used to call him Crybaby Davis is what I used to call him because he was always complaining about something.
Well, they're going to be complaining that we go 40 minutes to people. They just want picks. They don't like when we ramble on. I don't care. because I'm going to go on a soapbox and complain about a freaking Golden Bat Award or whatever the hell.
I don't blame you.
Guy. You like baseball. You know,
Yes.
in 1968, on this date, they lowered the mound from 15 to 10 inches because the pitchers, Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale, Kopech, were so dominant. The batting leader hit 301 that year.
You got to bring it back. They got to raise it because these batters can't hit. You got what, 5 guys hit over 300 this year? Ridiculous.
Well, you know, it was down to fewer and fewer each season, so it seems.
Strikeouts are cool. That's why we got to bring in a Golden Bat to let anybody bat. Whatever. All right, listen. Clemson plus 1.5. Whiskey minus 3.5. Over Tennessee 143.5. Those are the free picks. Premiums up at gamblersworld.net. Matt's got a triple header NBA. Mr. NBA Chip Chirimbes going to have something. I know Matt has this game of the year going to college football this weekend. I have like 5 college football up ready for championship weekend. It's all gamblersworld.net for the premium stuff. For Matt, Chip, myself, Gamblers World Winner Circle, the Golden Bat. Have a good Tuesday. Back tomorrow with Brian Bittler and Chip. Take it easy, everybody.